Hasn't shot the ball more than 9 times. He's a boomer. Needs to step up and carry this team.
Those tight games were in Brisbane. And it's the Bullets who get first possession. Both teams in their Looney Tunes jerseys. We'll see them throughout round 13. Hopson with an early catch underneath. And an N1 finish on the opening play for the Bullets.
And that is exactly where Brisbane have an advantage tonight. We'll get our keys to the game up soon, but they need to dominate inside the paint. They're much bigger and more physical than the New Zealand Breakers. Rob Lowe doesn't have the size in there.
What I love about Andre O'Mara's coach teams is timeouts, start of games, half times, always comes out with a good set, and that is a great way to get your big man into the game early. Everyone gets a touch. Well done, Brisbane.
So, confident start for Hodgson, and a bit of extended pressure from the Bullets defensively. In the 2-3 zone now, Henry attacks the baseline, finds Hopson, and he muscles his way to the foul line.
Matty Hodgson involved again on the defensive end and didn't pick up a foul there. Isn't it interesting, though? Will Magnay has a big game last week. Hodgie gets into a bit of foul trouble. He will be absolutely desperate to remind people just how good he is tonight.
He's in terrific form, Scotty Hopson. Only a 64% free throw shooter on the year.
What I like about, and we'll bring up some New Zealand keys here, but what I like about what Brisbane did is they're long, so they're able to defend. But you look at the keys of the games. Number one, no easy baskets. They have to keep the Bullets under 90. Every time New Zealand have let the team get over 90 points, they've lost. And they do have to get production off the bench. That means staying out of foul trouble from their bench guys as well. Especially
with the guys who are no longer on the roster. You look at some of the players that they've lost. You know, no Hampton, no Corey Webster, no Glenn Rice Jr.
Yeah.
All high-volume scorers.
Hodgson in the block, wheeling and dealing on Low. Can't finish, and Hopson collects it. He advances in transition. Delaney, no hesitation, and maybe should have rethought it for a moment.
Maybe he should have had a little bit of hesitation. He shot it like he was a 50% three-point shooter. He's not quite that. Interesting shot early on.
He had 14 and 8 against the Bullets a few weeks ago. Delaney, when the Breakers got that home win, Lamar Patterson had that career-high 36-point night. They'll be looking to put the clamps on him. Here's Sobey, and he punishes Henry for going under the screen.
Well, they need him to go to work. That guy, he is athletic, he's quick, and let's be honest, hasn't had that breakout game this year that we know he can have. Geez, they'd love him to do that tonight.
6-1 start for the Bullets. Low, Abercrombie, floater is out, and we're going the other way. Because we talked about the Looney Tunes jerseys, of course, throughout round 13, Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck, Marvin the Martian, they'll all be making appearances on your favourite NBL
I love
team's
that
jersey.
New Zealand one. That is a winner. That looks absolutely fantastic.
And shop the Looney Tunes collection now. Just $39.90 at nblstore.com.au. Patterson lets it fly, no good. Will Magnay with the offensive board.
The Bullets are all over the glass. Multiple rebounds every time a shot goes up, both ends of the floor.
Hodgson on the deck.
Great hustle.
2 on the shot clock. Sobey launches it. And we're going the other way.
Chris, I want to pick up something you just said. You can see Hodgson's already had, well, 3-point play, got another look, diving on the floor. You mentioned about the less minutes that he played last week. Whilst everyone's happy with what Magnay did, he wants to prove himself, and you've picked that up already. You can see it, no doubt.
Of course he does, and the encouragement from the Brisbane Bullets coaching staff for Will Magnay has always been to shoot the three and to develop him into a four-man, so I don't think it's one or the other. I think both of those two guys can play together.
Good strong take from Scotty Hopson, and it's a 3-point game.
Just on the Brisbane keys to the game, they've started this first one beautifully. They've dominated the offensive glass. They're gang rebounding. Scotty Hopson, for me, is the guy, if New Zealand are going to win, needs to put them on his back. They need to limit his easy scoring opportunities. He is an outstanding offensive player, as we see right there.
Yeah, 2 strong attacks off the dribble from Hopson, and Hodgson had his second bucket down the other end. 3-point lead to the Bullets. Patterson with the finish off the glass.
Well, that's a good move by Sobey. He's going downhill there. He'd just be able to get to the cup easy. Both teams really struggling with the on-ball at the moment.
fascinated to see how Sek Henry goes with Nathan Sobey's speed. In the open court especially, Nathan Sobey is exceptionally quick, and Sek Henry, speed's not his strength. He's an incredible shooter, a little bit herky-jerky, change of direction, but he might struggle with Nathan Sobey tonight.
Good attack from Delaney, finds low, but it rims out.
2 long Brisbane Bullets, great contest without fouling.
Oh, what a pass from
Good
Patterson. And Magnay gets to the strike.
They look sharp, the Bullets.
They do, and Hobson's gone down here. Hopefully nothing serious. They need that guy in the game, as Chris Anstey was just saying. He is a key to their chances.
Timeout called. Here's another look at the pass. Great dime, and Hopson. The slip.
Well, that's going to be in the
on the decal.
The hip and groin area. That's going to be sore.
And it's been a topic of conversation.
Yeah. What a pass.
Will
what
Weaver.
a pass from Patterson. Oh.
Will Weaver, the Kings head coach, had some comments about that in their post-game presser last week about the decals, and he said his heart's in his mouth when he sees people slip on it, and there we saw Hopson go.
Able to get that instinct off there, and now they'll come in against Perth, who didn't play well last week. And you know, whenever they don't play well, they come ready to play wild match basketball.
Hey, great news. Scotty Hopson's back on the floor, so hopefully just a little bit of a slip. Nothing too serious, and on we go.
He looks like he's got his Looney Tunes shoes on as well. Those yellow ones, they look great.
Okay. I know Mitch Creek has some Looney Tunes shoes. We'll see them in action tomorrow. Southeast Melbourne taking on Illawarra. Magnay comes out for a rest for the Bullets, and they go a little bit smaller. They got EJ Singler at the 4 spot alongside Matt Hodgson right now, and they're sticking with this zone defense. Has restricted the breakers thus far. Low, kicks it out. Hopson wide open, and that's down for Scotty Hopson.
Well, what an interesting one. How much better was the zone when they had the 2 bigs in? This time, not the 2 bigs. They're able to get inside, get the ball to the middle, kick with a wide open 3.
Singler got caught looking the wrong way, went to the wrong side of the floor, and they got into rotation.
Pull-up's good for Sobey, and the Bullets go up 5.
It's always an interesting one when you check into the game. You better know what we're in.
Yeah.
Don't take a possession and get it right.
Abercrombie attacks off the dribble, hangs, and a foul called underneath on Rob Lowe. He picks up his first personal.
Well, the length of Matty Hodgson is already really bothering Rob Lowe. Hasn't been able to get a clean look at the basket. A little bit of frustration coming in already.
In this case, it was good, Dave.
And I'll tell you what, if there's one guy in the league who'd be very happy not to pick up early fouls, it's Matty Hodgson, and he's done an incredible job staying vertical this game so far.
Correction, that's Rob Lowe's second, so he'll come out. And Shamir pulls him out of the game and inserts Brandon Ashley.
Yeah, well, speaking of foul trouble, Brandon Ashley is another one, and you can see he's come off the bench to protect him. So now you've got 2 guys that are going to go at it that are very foul-prone.
Athletic rebound from Hopson. Boy, he's in great form. Coming off that game winner in Wollongong last week, and 2 outstanding round 12 performances. Here's Henry, single digits on the shot clock. Kicks to Hopson, comes back, Henry from deep, and that splashes for Sek Henry.
Not sure why they went and left him. They did a great job defensively when he chased the ball. Do not want to leave Sek Henry open, and Lamar Patterson is getting in shape. He's getting up and he's dunking it. He would not have dunked that a month ago.
That's just sloppy defense from Finn Delaney. He's the weak side help, and he turned his back on his defender, the #1 thing you should never do, and Patterson doing exactly what you should do and get straight to the cup.
Henry open again, but Ashley throws it into the front row. It's a bad turnover, and here's another look, Chris.
You just
Patterson's finish down the other end.
Yeah, exactly what you're saying, Liam. Finn Delaney just turned his back there. Patterson went straight to the cup. Great pass.
That turnover, that Sek Henry hit from deep the previous possession, and a chance to find him again. Costly from Ashley. Hodgson wheels and deals. Ashley denies him. 3 on the shot clock. Sobey off the rim, but no good.
Great job, Brandon Ashley worried him out of it. Matty Hodgson, sometimes just a simple post move against a smaller defender. Don't need to be too creative, just be big.
Pick comes from Ashley. Henry kicks it out. Abercrombie off the iron. The Bullets look to attack, and they mess it up. It's out of bounds going to the breakers.
Well, that was a good pass. Singler had that open. He ran the lane. It was running from rim to rim, and Patterson threw it at him. Unlucky to not make it. Good look.
First turnover of the game for the Bullets. They lead by 4. 6 minutes and change into the opening term. And a call off the ball on Taylor Braun.
Stop walking and start running to spot. To the ring, to screen. Okay, stop the walk. Start running.
Well, that's
There you go.
message.
Very loud and clear from Dan Shamir.
I understood what he said. Run to your spots and get to the screens.
Yet to get into the game, the home fans at the Armoury, despite the 4-point lead. Ashley can't finish underneath. Taylor Braun, rhythm 3. No good. And breakers ball. Dan Shamir calling for his players to sprint. Start sprinting to spots. Have you seen some malaise in their approach thus far?
They've been patient in what they're doing. They haven't played at a high tempo yet. They've been going through the motions. But regardless of whether you're doing that or not, get there quickly and go through the motions a little bit earlier in the shot clock.
Hopson, catch, no good. I feel like the Bullets, when they're playing their best, control the tempo very well. We saw that against the Kings last week.
Yeah, and on the flip side of that, I called a New Zealand game last week and they were so dependent on the three-point shot.
Patterson, step back, triple.
Lamar Patterson has a knack of the tougher the shot, the more likely he is to make it. That step back overhand, the defender almost feels like he's going to get a fingertip on it. Tough hit.
Turnover for the Breakers. Jared Weeks coming into the game. And Lamar Patterson, a strong start for him as he comes out. 7 points, 2 boards, 2 assists for Brisbane superstar import.
I do like the change up here from Brisbane. They did start in a zone, and that seemed to work, and then New Zealand came out, went bang, bang. They've gone to this man now, and it's been able to get a couple of stops and been able to run the ball.
Foul called on the Breakers. Glidden back into the game, yet to launch one, Cam Glidden. Shooting a really high percentage on the year, Chris, from long range. But do you want to see him get some more shots?
Yeah, I do. I mentioned earlier on, there hasn't been a game this season that Cam Glidden has shot the ball in double digits. For me, he's an elite, capable scorer in this league and needs to be a lot more aggressive, especially when he's in the game when Lamar Patterson and Nathan Sobey are out. I'd like to see Cam Glidden take a few more bad shots, shoot it at a lower percentage, but take the game on a little bit more.
Great shot fake from Magnay, and he gets to the free throw line.
My only question with that, Chris, and I think you're 100% right, and I know for a number of years, we as all commentators have been calling. My only question is, and there's the foul there, you can see the great call there by the referee. I don't know if that's what he wants.
Now, whether it doesn't matter, that's got to be his evolution.
And I don't think it's going to happen.
And we always said the same thing when he was at Cairns.
We'll pick that conversation back up in a moment. Here's the WhatsApp on NBL Talkback. Who's more important to their team's finals aspirations? Speaking of Cam Glidden, Tom Abercrombie, the veteran breaker, or the boomer, Cam Glidden for the Bullets. 0415-139-414 to get involved.
Such an interesting comparison. Very similar roles within their teams. Both of them are having quiet seasons compared to what we expected them over the course of their career. And both teams still just in the finals.
Yeah, it's a great question.
Bullets on a 7-zip run here and a chance to extend that off that Jared Weeks miss. Glidden, Kadee, down, 10-zip run to the Bullets.
Well, if he starts firing, you know this club will get it, because when he's on, Bullets are on. If he starts knocking the shots down, you know they'll get a run.
And you know when he gets on, when he's playing off the ball, and that's what he's able to do with Taylor Braun handling it a little bit, and Cam Glidden, if he's not going to shoot it, have him facilitate and get Jason Kadee a couple of open looks.
Late in the shot clock for Hopson. Can't get the bounce, and it's all going Brisbane's way right now. Magnay looks down low in the call on Agent 97 as he tried to muscle up in the paint. First personal on Weeks, but 6 team foul on the Breakers. And EJ Singler will go to the free throw line.
Chris, I want to get back to with Glidden, and look, I'm a massive fan of his. And you're right. If he's going to shoot a lot of shots, that is good for him and good for the teams he play with. I just don't know if that's his game.
The way that the Brisbane Bullets were constructed, though, they didn't bring in one of those absolute top-tier imports because they had the Australian talent. They had Sobey, they have Glidden. Sobey's going to be aggressive, but Cam Glidden essentially, for me, needs to take on the role of an import if they're not going to get a Casper Ware or that type of import.
Totally agree. I just hope he doesn't.
Singler knocks down both. 12-zip run now for Brisbane. They need a circuit breaker, the Breakers. Brisbane's defense very stingy. Late in the shot clock, again for New Zealand. Weeks needs to make a play. Finds Bogdanovic, corner three. And that's off. Wow, it is barren dry.
It is,
for New Zealand right now.
Brisbane's defense has been fantastic. I can only recall New Zealand getting 2 open or uncontested looks. Outside of that, great defense, great pass, Matty Hodgson.
Well, on the back of what Chris Yancey's saying here, watch the defense and watch where Brisbane are picking up the ball. It's 2 and 3. As he gets over half court here, watch Kadee get into him. Then they'll start to put pressure on the ball here. Look what Singler's doing, Braun straight up and into him. A lot of pressure on the ball.
Hobson causes some contact on...
6, go 6, block.
Hodgson on Hobson.
Hodgson on Hobson, getting my H's mixed up there, and the Breakers a chance to break this run. 14-zip. And as you fellas have stated, on the back of some really lockdown D.
And Scotty Hopson's getting a little bit banged up tonight. We saw him slip on the logo, might have copped an inadvertent knee there from Matty Hodgson. He's in the walls a little bit, he's a little bit proppy as he goes to the free throw line. Without question, Scotty Hopson is New Zealand's most important player tonight.
I remember playing against Chris Anstey teams when I used to feel that too, coming off on balls.
Hey, if you're going to get a foul, you might as well make them count. We used to talk about taking nicks out of players over the course of a game. Don't let them play bruise-free basketball, especially the best players.
Well, it's a good point, and there it was there what you were saying. If that guy gets going, they can win this game.
Absolutely.
So it's a huge step. Bump him, bang him, put him on the floor. Let him know you're coming into our place and we don't want you to win this game.
You know what, back when the league was a little bit more physical in the way it was officiated, we used to chart, back in the Magic days when we played the Tigers, how many times we bumped Andrew Gaze off the ball. Hip and shoulder, check a cutter, hit him on an on-ball screen. We counted how many times we actually hit him, not to injure him, of course, but we felt that at the end of the fourth quarter, he was the one going to be wanting to take the game-winning shots, and the more fatigued we were able to make him over the course of the game, the better chance we had of winning. That's the shot that Glidden needs to shoot. Make it or miss it, that's fine. Go and be aggressive.
There's Weeks into the paint, off 1 foot, and he'll get to the free throw line.
Interesting that Brisbane, they've been so long and have bothered New Zealand all game long that they choose to go without Magnay or Hodgson. And for me, played right into New Zealand's hands by being small.
And not only that, what do New Zealand do? Go straight to the cup. And exactly what they should do.
Absolutely.
Jared Weeks, runner-up last year in both most improved player and best six-man voting, shooting 69% from the line on the year. There you see, you talk about Hobson taking some hits and some bumps. Chris getting a little treatment there just above the knee as he gets a rest. Weeks splits the pair. Brisbane by 13. Final possession of the opening term. What an emphatic start for the home side. Singler open, backs Bogdanovic down, bodies up and kisses it off the glass.
He got there eventually, had the wide open layup on the catch. Good pass.
Ngatai in the corner, big bucket from Jordan Ngatai. Has struggled from range all season, and his team really needed that hit to finish what had been a horrendous opening term for the road team. The Bullets, they're happy. It's Brisbane 29, New Zealand 17. Stick with us. Second quarter after the break. It was a dominant first quarter display by the Brisbane Bullets. They kept the Breakers scoreless for 5 whole minutes of that opening term. And they hold a 12-point lead after one. Chris, what'd you make of that opening term?
Brisbane dominated the game inside. They completely out-rebounded the New Zealand Breakers, gave them no second-chance opportunities. And there we go, another one, another contested defensive rebound. If they can keep the Breakers off the glass and limit them to one shot all night long, it's going to be a very long night for New Zealand.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think the defensive intensity has set the tone. You look what Brisbane are shooting, 56% compared to 30 for New Zealand, and 7 assists for that quarter. Great work by Brisbane.
It was a 10-point first quarter from Scotty Hopson for the Breakers. Only 4 New Zealand players have scored thus far. Hopson, Ngatai, Henry, and Jared Weeks with the free throws. So having a bit of trouble at the offensive end. Some stops will help. Singler right down the middle. Can't finish. Magnay puts it back in.
That is a great take, great rebound, and got up and dunked it on the offensive glass. That is your perfect example of where Brisbane are killing the New Zealand Breakers right now.
Magnay's improvement taking place in front of our very eyes. Ngatai.
Wow, okay, all right.
His second triple for the game.
Coming in, 1 of 15 from the field for the season.
Yes.
1 of 13 from 3, and he's just gone bang, bang. 2 threes in a row.
Glennon on the back cut at the rim.
Well, this is going to get ugly if New Zealand don't start to stop the ball. The number one thing when you're playing defense is you've got to get down and guard your man. And right now, Brisbane are able to get to the cup anytime they want.
On and off the ball. Here's Delaney, and he knocks one down from range. Offense just starting to tick over a little bit for the Kiwis.
And it was the second breakdown the Bullets have had. They both went away from Finn Delaney. Bit of a miscommunication.
Turnover from Glidden. Ashley picks it off. Here's where Weeks is at his best.
He's quick.
So quick into the lane. The ball swings to Delaney. He finds Ngatai. He's 2 of 2. And can't hit there. Second chance from Ashley, and he cans it.
Well, that's great.
Timeout, Brisbane.
First off, great work down the other end with his on-ball defense. He was able to get a hand and get a steal, then goes and crashes the glass. Well done from New Zealand.
That's an 8-point lead for the Bullets. And you can get involved in NBL Fantasy. Don't miss your chance to play incredible during NBL20. Pick your team, challenge your mates, and win bragging rights as well as some awesome prizes thanks to the NBL store. Play now at fantasy.nbl.com.au to play incredible.
We heard Coach Dan Shamir speak to the group about playing with some speed and sprinting to spots. If Jared Weeks does one thing in the point guard position for the Breakers, he plays at speed, and that's what we've seen. Brisbane haven't been able to establish their defense the last couple of possessions.
The ball movement, all that stuff is good. Come out of this, make sure we're in some sort of press break, and then let's just go back with cross on the second side cross. There we go. 1, 2, 3.
Well, again, as I've said previously as well, there'll always be a good set coming out of this timeout from Andre Lamanis. He loves what he's just able to have that composure, gives them nice sets. They always run a good one. So where they'll go, you'd like to think inside to Will Magnay or penetrate off the ball.
Yeah, second side cross from Matty Hodgson, I think, just like that very first play of the game, if you recall. They got him on the rim to start.
And that three-point play, you're right.
So it's 8 for the Breakers in the first almost 2 minutes of this second term. Bullets looking to get back to their lockdown ways they had in the opening term defensively. A score here will help their mojo. Here's Patterson off the front of the rim. Good crash from Hodgson. He draws a second personal foul on Ashley.
Well, they did run it, and they looked to get to Hodgson. He wasn't open, but then they adjusted. And it was a nice shot from Patterson, but the 2 big guns going to crash the glass.
U14 on the shot for the Bullets. They find Hodgson, and he tucks it in.
They are killing the New Zealand Breakers on the front of the rim. Rebounding, deep catches. Keep going there. Don't go small again, Coach.
Hodgson's got an equal team high 7. Ashley strides in, and Hodgson denies him. The big fella producing at both ends right now. And there he gives up
on the screen.
An offensive foul, and that's his second.
It's one of those really annoying ones as a coach. There's no real need. He's gone under the screen already. He's going to be open. As we have a look, great patience. Watch Brandon Ashley fly through the air and just tucked it in. Little two-hand dunk by Matty Hopson.
Down 10 early in the second quarter. Chris, you said in the pre-game, you feel like the New Zealand season's on the line here tonight.
It really is. Scotty Hopson has to be the one. He needs to go for 30 plus for the Breakers to be any chance. And if he doesn't, 5 games below 500 is too many when the league's this tight.
Patterson finds Sobey, and he tucks it in on the alley-oop.
Oh, great defense by Patterson. And what about the point guard going upstairs and getting the dunk and the beautiful landing as well? Love watching Nathan Sobey in the open court.
Here's another look at it. The steal from Patterson, and he put that thing right on the money.
He sure did, and what a luxury to be able to reverse roll some of the times. Have your wing carry the ball down the floor and throw it up to your point guard. Very, very difficult to defend. Great athleticism, Nathan Sobey.
Download the NBL app. Be sure to download it on your mobile device. Stay up to date on all of the latest news and information on your favorite Hungry Jacks NBL teams and players. And best of all, it's free. Download the official NBL app free from the App Store or Google Play today.
Be available and set a good screen, and Pop, I want you to get it. If you don't know the second swing, it doesn't matter. You'll hand it off, but that I want him to get. Set a good screen out for those backcuts. Okay? Let's go, tougher. Come on.
Well, I think for me, the way New Zealand are going to get back into this game is it's got to start on the defensive end. It has just been, Chris, you've mentioned a number of times, everything's at the rim. They've got to be able to get down, get in defense. You heard that man right there say that we've got to run to our spots and we've got to get to the positions. He said that earlier. That's what they need to do. They have to stop the penetration because right now it's at will. And if they are going to go to an on-ball, it's got to be a hard shot.
Well, to back up that point, Brisbane are 11 from 15 from inside the three-point line. They're just scoring at will when they get it inside.
Low straightaway three off the front of the rim. Glidden clears it. The Bullets are off to the races. The Breakers put out the fire. Here's Patterson. Oh, great look. Finds Sobey underneath.
That's such a great pass. And again, the defender turned his head. Nathan Sobey made the absolute most, ducked into the rim. Nice little backdoor cut and an easy layup. But again, a defensive breakdown by the New Zealand Breakers.
They're trying to get after it, but getting beat on the backside. Here's Hopson, one-on-one with Magnate. The big fella slides his feet. Hopson gets the step but can't finish. Low puts it back.
That's great defense by Will Magnate. Carried his hands, moved his feet.
But very stagnant offense, Chris. They all just stood around and hoped that he would make a play.
If there's one guy on the Breakers team, you don't mind it being stagnant as much as him.
Good point.
But that's the thing, when you're big guys guarding the ball and a dominant scorer, you tend to have 4 other guys watching. That's what we saw. So even though Magnate did a great job defending, no one was boxing out from the weak side, and they got an easy putback.
And here's that look from Patterson underneath, and just does a little bit of everything, Lamar Patterson, and they always look good when they're playing off him. 12-point lead to the Bullets. Delaney on Tarangi, draws the foul, and he scores it. And one finish for Finn Delaney. He'll go to the stripe.
Well, if anything, I'm glad he didn't shoot that three. We saw that in the first quarter. He learned from that. It wasn't a great up fake here. Takes Tarangi. And they're going to count the basket.
Now, Ruben Tarangi was the most improved player in the league last season, correct me if I'm wrong.
And best six-man.
And the best six-man. The knock on him is he doesn't defend well enough to earn extended minutes, and he's just come into the game, given up an and one that Brisbane hasn't done all game long. He's just got to tighten that up a little bit.
Cut it back to single digits again, the Breakers. They're in a little zone action here, defensively. Matched up late in the possession, and a block from behind from Lowe. Sends Henry in transition. Hooking foul called on Finn Delaney underneath.
Well, good defense there from Tarangi. Came over from the weak side, was able to help down low, so good talk. And Delaney, from the angle we had it, it did look like he hooked him around. Good call.
First personal foul on Delaney, but fourth team foul on the Breakers. So it'll be free throws the rest of the way for Brisbane. 5 minutes to play in this second term. Sobey, fade away, bucket.
That's a tough shot. Over a lot of length, the hand being carried, nice and patient. Nathan Sobey hasn't been great, or hasn't been consistent all season long. We know what a great player he is. If he can get going, he might be the guy to lift Brisbane for the rest of this season.
He's the game-leading scorer right now with 11, Nathan Sobey. 5 of 8 from the field. And here he is looking to attack, finds Patterson, and he returns the favour as Patterson gets to the line.
There are so many holes in the New Zealand Breakers defence right now. Pick and roll, cross screens for the post-ups, backdoor cuts. I mean, that's just slipped the screen early. 2 guys were late, so they ran and jumped, and Lamar Patterson gets himself to the free throw line.
You've got to be happy with that man there, Abercrombie. No points, 3 fouls so far for the game. But the thing I like what Brisbane's doing is that they're playing to that, Chris. You're saying, like, they're being very, very patient on offense. They're kicking, they're getting off on balls. There's no forced shots. They're breaking their man down, doing a great job.
Dan Shamir's going to roll with Abercrombie out there with 3 personals. He's got Nartai on the bench, not using him right now. Henry puts it on the deck, tries to step past Magnay, finds Lowe, and he drills it. Much needed 3-point hit for the Breakers.
A little bit better ball movement, found the wide open 3-point shooter at the end of the clock.
And an offensive foul on Magnay down the other end.
Well, the one positive thing I'll say about New Zealand here is, let's be honest, their shooting is this pass here. Great pass. Rob Lowe does what he does best. They've got themselves up to 40% now. They're only down by 9, and really, they haven't played any defense this quarter or this half to anything. So if they can stay in this game, get a couple of stops and a couple of... They're right back in there, and Brisbane playing awesome.
And the way that the Breakers stay ahead, they shot more 3-point shots in their win against Illawarra than they did 2s, and they've done that again tonight already. They've made 6 threes and only made 5 2s as they go and make another 2. So Rob Lowe a little bit of time inside and out now.
Great look from Nartai, and Rob Lowe with the hammer finish.
What about that look from Nartai? Like you just said, great drive. Good no call, like that no call.
Absolutely.
So Dan Shamir made the decision eventually to pull Abercrombie.
The Illawarra Hawks are a much better team when they play their young Aussie kids.
Great
but
point.
they made a couple of mistakes, in my opinion, bringing those 2 imports in.
Well,
one of them's
now.
home already.
Yep. Going
He had
home
a
for
great
Christmas.
choice. Yeah, it needed family reasons he went home.
Of course it was.
Yeah.
Addition by subtraction, Chris?
Absolutely. Angus Glover's been fantastic. I'd love to see him play 20-25 minutes a game the rest of this season. They're not making playoffs.
Sobey, the alley-oop finish.
As you said, Andre Lamanis is the best in the league, probably after timeouts and at start of quarter plays. Well drawn up play for an alley-oop for Nathan Sobey.
What a great pass from Kadee. Always easier with an athlete like that at the end of it. Sobey able to put it down. Hopson off the bounce. Magnay stuck with him. And Kadee caught with his hands in the cookie jar.
That's 2 times in a row Will Magnay's found himself isolated against Scotty Hopson. I didn't quite catch how it happened. Brisbane might need to do a little bit better job of not letting that happen again. That's a good finish by Nathan Sobey on the left hand as he adjusted in the air.
I want to ask Chris, as a big, right now, I feel in this league that we, as in defenders, tend to switch too much rather than double. When you were playing, did you prefer to double and get back, show and get back, or switch, which seems to happen a lot in our league?
I hated showing because I ran too far away from the basket and I had to sprint all the way back, and in all likelihood I was going to pick up fouls doing that. I didn't mind switching, but if I did, I needed to know that my teammates were there to help me and give a lot more help than they would. But for me, a lot of teams now ice it and keep it on one side of the floor, have the guard jump high on the hip of the ball carrier, send him down with the bigs, and try not to have the ball be reversed from side to side.
Great energy from Finn Delaney. Wins the ball back for the Breakers. Foul called on Kadee. His second personal. So another possession here for New Zealand. They've cut it down to 8.
Here we go again on Will Magnay.
5 on the shot clock. Henry launches it. Comes off. Loose ball.
Great job.
Magnay's on the deck.
Great
The big
job, Will
fella tracked
Magnay.
it down for his team.
That is inspirational. Great job, Will Magnay. Lined that thing up from half court and dove 12 feet along the ground. Listen to the crowd.
While one man bent at the hips, the other got right down on the hardwood.
Forget bending at the hips. One man wanted it a lot more than the other man. Simple as that. Forget technique, forget everything about that play other than Will Magnay wanted it a hell of a lot more than Sek Henry.
That is the perfect advertisement for any kid. If you want the ball, you can get it. You just got to want it.
That will be shown in the team scout tomorrow. Forget all his made or missed shots. That's the type of thing that coaches
But
love.
here's the lesson. Don't do it because you get benched.
I'd like to think he was coming out anyway.
Sure.
It's like the AFL. You kick a goal and you've got to come off the ground.
Nah, great work by Will. Now, he's off contract this year too. Every general manager in this league will be looking at him.
They've done a great job developing Magnay. They gave him that 3-year deal right off the top of the Bullets with guaranteed advancement from DP to the roster, and it's paying off in spades right now. Delaney can't hit from range, and the Bullets block out by committee. Braun open in the corner, drains it.
Well, you look at that, a wide open three for New Zealand. It bangs out, and then Brisbane get a wide open three. Huge 6-point turnaround right there.
Back out to double digits for Brisbane. Delaney, straight line drive. And he gets to the free throw line, and that's Matty Hodgson's third personal foul.
And there's the coach killer. He really is. And Chris, you mentioned earlier, they look better with the bigs on the court. There's no question of that.
At least one of them, yes.
And now you've got to bring Magnay back, who has just come off probably to get a rest, like you said. Now he's going to have to play that half out, and he's going to have to protect Hodgson.
And that's okay, and that's the luxury that Coach Lianis has with having the two genuine bigs in there, that he's got so many looks that he has with his team.
It's an interesting situation, actually, because Lamanis in the postgame last week, after Will Magnay blew up, went out of his way to talk about his growth at ability in the area of the ability to play extended minutes. And Sam McKinnon put a lot of work into him in the QBL, and they're seeing the dividends right now in these very situations.
He did, and it's a credit to, coming off that big game. He's been reasonably quiet tonight. He's been impactful, but 5 and 5. He's on track for a double-double again. He'd never had double-figure rebounds in a game before last week, so he's finding a way to impact the game, even in ways we don't often recognise right as they happen.
Meanwhile, the Breakers finding ways to stay in this one.
And it's surprising too, because Scotty Hopson had 10 points early. Between him and Sek Henry, who are their two leading scorers, just 1 point between them in this second quarter, so they're finding other avenues to the basket.
One.
Magnay misses two, but Singler cleans it up. Great screen from Braun across the lane.
And they're the ones that are really concerning if you're a New Zealand Breakers fan. That's just effort. Boxing out on a free throw, giving up 2 points that should never have occurred. So many games of basketball come down to the last few possessions. You can't afford to give up easy ones like that over the course of a game.
Henry, turnover. Singler in the middle cylinder. And Sobey throws it away. We're going New Zealand's way. Henry
got away with a travel, I think.
Finds low, and he can't bounce it in.
That's just not the look they want. They're not getting enough scores where New Zealand need to get a stop and run some offense and get the ball in the right people's hands. Right now, they're flying threes to try and get back into this game.
Sobey attacks on the pick and roll. Foul called off the ball. And Will Magnay will go to the strike, where he's 3 of 6 on the night thus far.
Hoping to do a little bit better than his last trip where he came up empty. But again, ways to impact the game when he's not standing out. Dunking the ball and blocking shots like he did against the Kings last week. He's been very serviceable. There we see it, 5 points, 5 rebounds. He'd love a free throw to go down.
And he's left 4 on the strike.
Like you said, he's played 13 minutes here as well, so the energy he's bringing is great.
And that's 4 straight misses from Magnay at the free throw line. And yet the Bullets still hold this double-figure lead. Everything's a bit of a grind for the Breakers offensively. Hopson, one-on-one with Singler, finds low, fumbles it, gets it back, and finishes.
Great patience. The Bullets went flying past were almost too athletic. They're in the air for too long.
9 points now for Lowe. Here's Sobey working with Magnay. He's got the switch with Ngatai now. Great take, Nathan Sobey.
So quick. Great job, Bullets. Opened up the lane for the quickest player on the floor right now. He did a great job getting to the rim and almost an uncontested layup.
He's got a game-high 15 in the opening half, Sobey. The double comes down low, and the foul call.
And did a
Low to the strike.
And did a great clip for Nathan Sobey. 7 of 10 from the field. Just looks more aggressive.
Well, it's patient.
It's
patient.
It is.
And that's when Nathan Sobey's in this frame of mind. He is exactly what they wanted and what they recruited. He's great. It's patience. It's coming off the screen. You look at that last play. He got the switch, and rather than attacking, he took 2 dribbles back to get the feet set and then go to the rim.
And those 2 dribbles back you mentioned, because of his speed, that's how he needs to go and attack a slower defender like he just did.
35, yeah.
It's not the handles of some of the point guard, the imports we see in this league will break you down and cross you up. Nathan Sobey needs to depend a little bit more on his speed than his handle.
Good point.
His speed on speed, though, this will be interesting for the last 7 seconds.
Late on the clock for Sobey. Kicks it back to Patterson, has to let it go. Step back, good contest. And that's off. And it finishes a strong half for the home team. It was a good fight back from the Breakers in that second term. They've managed to cut into the mud. Kept a straight face as he looked at all those Tweety birds in front of him. What would he have told him?
Well, I reckon he would have said exactly what Chris just told Brisbane. 59% and 28 of 14 in the paint. But for me, he would have mentioned stay down and guard your man. You have to stop. You've got to get them stopping them getting to the rim, and secondly, get Hopson involved. He needs to get more looks.
And so straight off the bat, Dan Shamir sits Tom Abercrombie to start the second half. So his international player not happy with his no points in the first half and benches him.
Well, as the foul called in transition, offensive foul called on Henry. Sobey getting in front, and the official saying he got to the spot.
That's a great job making up for that early turnover, earn the ball back straight away. Now, Tom Abercrombie does have 3 fouls, of course, so there's a little bit of method to that decision.
Now Sek Henry has 3.
First off, I didn't think that was, but that was a good call. He got him straight in the middle of the number. Good defense.
Hodgson on the flip side for Brisbane out there with 3.
Yeah, I like
Shamir leaving Henry on the floor as well.
Liam, I like that. What it's saying is we've got your big guy. Go out and play.
Patterson, he's going out and playing, and that was an easy bucket over Delaney.
And it's also saying that we're up 10. We want to get as many minutes as we possibly can out of our best players. It can be simple sometimes. The more minutes your best players play, the better chance you've got of winning. So don't guess that they're going to foul. Put them out there and see if they do. Good D, Matty Hodgson. Well, sorry, good job not fouling. But that's what's going to happen if he's not quite as aggressive.
A nice execution, the pick and roll, Henry and Lowe for the break, a bucket. 10-point margin. Early in the third term, Patterson slaps Henry's arm away.
Good
finds
pass.
Glennon. Bang, he drills the straightaway 3.
Great pass, and when you've got a scorer like Lamar Patterson, you demand attention, and Cam Glidden, if he's going to get going uncontested.
Speaking of getting going, Henry trying to do that. Has just 3 points for the ball game. Has been in great form, coming off a 21-point night in Wollongong last week.
We said that Sobey's speed might bother him. At both ends of the floor, it's bothered him.
Magnay, he travels.
Good defense there from Ngatai, but not the possession before. You cannot sag off Cam Glidden. You want to keep him quiet, but by giving him that extra look, that's exactly what Brisbane want.
He's got 5 now, Glidden. In his second straight start, had 13 last week against the Kings, 4 of 4 from the field. And he's 2 of 4 so far in this one. Hopson, pull up, bucket.
Tough hit. They need to keep the scoreboard ticking over while they figure their defense out. Brisbane just seem to have all the answers right now on both ends of the floor.
Single digits on the shot. Oh, Patterson tried to ram that one.
5-on-4 opportunity for the Breakers here if they go.
Hopson right to the rim. And
Great block shot.
Bill Magnay denies him at the summit. Jarrell Weeks responds with the three-point hit. That was the block from Magnay.
What about both attempts going up there to get it? Brilliant.
Here's Sobey off the glass. Magnay was posterised by Finn Delaney in New Zealand a few weeks ago, and there, no hesitation to get up and block that thing.
We love big men who go and try to meet the ball at the rim. You'll get dunked on every now and again. So what? You'll change more shots than the times you'll get dunked on.
Liam, that's a big man talking, isn't it? You can just see.
Oh, I hear him loud and clear. I love that from the young fella. We're going the other way. A stop for the Bullets. Here's Patterson's attempted throwdown. We're getting replays of attempted dunks these days because there's the block for Magnay.
Nice.
And of course, Weeks able to finish the play from long range.
It's been fascinating watching Andre Lamanis use Lamar Patterson, use Taylor Braun as playmakers and give Nathan Sobey and Jason Cadee a little bit more time off the ball to go and let them be scorers. So Sobey is the point guard and he'll run the offense like he's doing now, but at times on a live ball rebound, they'll get him off the ball, and the Bullets look really good with Lamar Patterson handling it.
Magnay comes out, Singler comes in. It's the one big now for the Bullets. Delaney, great pass, and Hopson finishes. Foul from Matt Hodgson underneath.
Was it?
He just put the two hands on the back of Hopson.
Well, it was a breakdown on defense, that's for sure. Yeah.
Or maybe just with that right shoulder. He can't believe it, and he picks up his fourth personal.
Running away to get out of the way, and Hobson's foot caught Matty Hodgson's thigh, and he tripped as he was going away from the basket, so very unlucky. But again, another knock for Scotty Hopson. He is absolutely in the wars tonight.
That's Hodgson's fourth foul, so obviously he's still got Magnay on the bench, so he brings in Mika Bakona now. Now, this helped New Zealand in the first half when they went small. So we'll see if it can do it again. Now New Zealand, the key to them is get that on ball and get at the rim. That's what they did in the first half, and it helped.
There's no rim protection out there for the Bullets right now. They need to do their defensive work early.
He's got a game high 16 now, Scotty Hopson. Block from Rob Lowe underneath, and it stays with the Bullets.
And on the other side, if that's Magnay or Hodgson, that's a dunk.
Yep. Great block here. Look at this help by Rob Lowe. Comes across.
You mentioned Mika Bakona in the ball game. The all-time games played leader. Picks up the offensive foul there, the moving screen. All-time games played leader for the Breakers. Mika Bakona, the legendary Kiwi, 354 games.
What a fantastic
in the Breakers uniform.
Absolutely, and it must still always feel a little bit weird to go and play against them, however long you've been gone from the club for.
He's picked up a couple of personal fouls in just 1 minute of court time tonight. And he's on an island here with Scotty Hopson, Bakona. Hopson, pull up. It's off the rim, and the Bullets clear it. They've cut it to 7, New Zealand. In the early going here in the third. Feels like the tempo's back in their favour, but Patterson able to kiss that one off the glass.
He is so tough at finishing tough shots. It almost seems that the easier the shot for him, the more difficult it becomes, but great use of his body to get himself just that little bit of space and finish on the rim.
Great pass.
What a look from Weeks, finds low at the rim.
And there's what we talk about, no bigs, up fake by Jared Weeks, beautiful drive and a beautiful pass.
Rob Lowe's having some sort of a game. 14 points now to go along with 4 rebounds, a couple of assists.
A couple of blocks.
Couple of blocks.
Patterson finds Glidden. Great screen from Bacona. And Cam Glidden cashes in from the corner.
Well, it's just good offense. They were able to force a switch, and Rob Lowe wanted nothing to do with Patterson, but he was able to take him off the drive, needed help, and Cam Glidden for the 3.
Oh,
As
boy.
Delaney hits a 3.
And Delaney answers down the other end, and we're trading three-point hits. Sobey wants to get in on the act. Can't finish, but Bacona can. Good active hands from Singler to keep it alive.
Very, very underrated, the ability just to get a hand on an offensive board. Don't need to go and rebound it, but keep it alive, knock it back to where you know your teammates will be, generate another shot.
Weeks, triple.
Well, Jared Weeks, 10 points now. He has really filled up a great role for them.
Absolutely, and you talk about Corey Webster not being here. You talk about Glenn Rice Jr. not being here. RJ Hampton, somebody needs to step up tonight. It's been Jared Weeks.
Patterson, right to the cup. Brilliant. He's got 14 now, 4 boards and 8 assists.
He's getting in better shape. Now, he needs to come into the season in better shape, but as he gets in better and better shape, they will give him more decision-making opportunity and playmaking opportunity.
Sitting on the shot clock for Weeks. Gets to the rim, finds low, but the big fella wasn't expecting it.
I was about to say, Lamar Patterson is an exceptional passer of the basketball, but in order to be an exceptional passer, you first need to create a numbers advantage by winning the battle with your own individual defender. Now that he's shown the ability to be able to get by his defender with a little bit more speed, we're starting to see how good a passer he can become for the Bullets.
Kadee into the game for Brisbane. Glidden out, Braun also in. Singler wide open, and he's a knockdown three-point shooter.
With his feet set, he is as good as anyone in the league, close on 50% from the three-point line on the season. Don't want to give him too many open looks.
No call on Weeks. Bacona tried to draw the foul. Hopson, single coverage with Braun, turn around. That's out. Foul called underneath. That's on Jason Kadee. Is it? No, I think it might be on Singler. Either way, we're staying with New Zealand.
Whoever it's on from the Bullets is really disappointing. It had been a great defensive possession. They'd come up with the rebound, and then they've gone and fouled and given it straight back. Coach Lamanis would not... Wow!
Great pass from Weeks. Put it on the spot. Abercrombie couldn't quite control it in. 11 points the margin now. 7 minutes into the third term. Bacona, Braun, now it's Singler. Ball comes back to Sobey, launches and drains it. Nathan Sobey is filling it up.
That is such a tough shot. A one-bounce left sidestep 3, and I'll tell you what, Nathan Sobey absolutely thrives.
Muscle. They were able to switch and get down in their stance, and they actually extend the lead.
They're up the floor now, the Bullets. 94 feet of defense. With a 14-point lead. Big game in the context of each of these teams' seasons. Both coming in off a win, trying to build some momentum. Sek Henry trying to build some momentum of his own in this second half. Gets to the free throw line.
Well, Sek Henry and Brandon Ashley for the New Zealand Breakers, 2 of their 3 imports really need to get going and be a little bit more aggressive. 2 points for Ashley, who's on the floor. Just the 3 for Sek Henry, and he's doing a great job being a little bit more aggressive, but he got away with one there. But even when the Brisbane lineup is small, the length is still bothering him because he doesn't have that top-end speed that a lot of point guards in this league have. Shoots it fantastically well, though, if he can find some space.
He does. That's his first point since the opening term, Henry. Cairns 2, and cuts the margin to 12. Sobey feeling good on the attack.
Great
Off the
take.
board.
When Nathan Sobey is feeling good about himself and in attack mode, there might not be a more exciting player in this league to watch.
Okay.
In the open court, end to end, as quick as anyone, and when he gets ahead of steam.
Strong finish from Delaney underneath.
Speaking of good athletes,
He's got 13 now. Pick comes from Bacona. Sobey wants to play and make plays, and he's feeling it.
Well, that's what I'm talking about with Sobey. That is a smart play. He saw Ashley been guarding the man. He's like, no, oh, good defense there. He was like, come up and give me a screen to Mika Bacona. Got the switch on Ashley. Ashley didn't know what to do with him. You'll see it here. He gets the switch. Ashley's running, thinking he's going to the hoop. Great step back, knocks the three down. Well done, Nathan Sobey.
It's a season high, 23 now for Sobey.
and he's got a lot more in him too.
Henry with an answer.
That will be interesting. That's the open look they did not want to give Sek Henry. He had one very, very early in the game, and they've done a great job, the Bullets, of not letting him see any daylight. Defensive breakdown. It'll be interesting to see how that helps Sek Henry's game.
Sobey, baseline, finds Mika. He draws the foul.
Well, here it is again, Sobey. This time he gets another screen, and they both run at him because they weren't sure what they wanted to do, and Mika Bacona doing his best work, getting straight to the rim. Good catch by Sobey. Good pass, I should say.
So what's the adjustment now, Chris, from Dan Shamir on Nathan Sobey, because he's giving them fits right now?
They'll have their different defensive strategies, but for me, it's to keep him guessing. Nathan, so the thing with the way that Nathan Sobey is playing is that he's not beating them in one way. He's beating them on the rim. He's beating them with the pass. He's beating them from the three-point line. So sometimes it's as simple as you have to put your best athlete, and that might be Jared Weeks. Use some speed, put him on Nathan Sobey and make it a bit more of a one-on-one battle. Do a better job containing him.
Two from the line for Bacona. Just a 60% career free throw shooter. 14-point lead to Brisbane. Abercrombie from the corner. Bounces out. Ashley, great energy on the offensive glass.
And like Sek Henry needed a little bit of space to get going, maybe that's what Brandon Ashley needs. Great job on the offensive boards. Get yourself a putback. Try to get yourself going.
Final minute of the third term here. Breakers trying to get this thing into single digits with a quarter to play. 10 on the shot clock. Delaney
Great
finds
pass.
Ashley. Wow, what a play from the Breakers. Delaney to Ashley and one.
Well, Chris, you picked it up early. Ashley and Henry have brought them back into this game. With their energy, the way they look at this Finn Delaney pass, this is just great. Ashley goes straight to the cup like a big man should and gets the and one. Great effort by their imports to claw them back into this.
We say it all the time, but it's amazing what seeing the ball go through the hoop will do for a player's confidence. It's been a very lean night for Brandon Ashley. He earned himself one on the offensive glass. He's putting himself on the front of the rim. It's the best advice you can give a big. If your game's not going great, build it from the inside out. Now, Brandon Ashley can shoot it, but he's done a great job the last couple of minutes of living 2 feet from the rim.
Always so important how you close out quarters as well. The Breakers, big play there. It's down to 9. Would be a big mental barrier for them going into the fourth term if this thing is in single digits.
Couldn't agree more, and they have actually won this quarter so far, 30-29.
5-second or 6-second differential. 9 on the shot clock for Patterson. They find Magnay in the block, no double, and he draws an interesting whistle on Natai.
So it's been a really open quarter. It's 29 points apiece this quarter. The scoring's definitely jumped up. The Brisbane Bullets are still shooting the ball at 62% from the field for this game. Now, however good you are offensively, if you're giving up a shooting percentage above 60, now Brisbane haven't shot the ball at higher than 52% on the season.
What have I got here?
But they're shooting it at 62. If you can't contain them and make it a little bit tougher, I don't care how well you play on the offensive end, you're not going to come back.
Yeah. Well, here's the WhatsApp results on the talkback. Who's more important to their team's final aspirations? Well, Abercrombie gets the vote, and Sobey can't get the bucket, but Magnay on the putback gets to the free throw line.
And that may very well be right, that Tom Abercrombie, 72% of our feedback said that he's more important to the New Zealanders, to the Breakers finals aspiration. Right now, he has laid an egg. He has 0 points, and the Breakers are down 9. So if he's going to be important to their finals aspirations, I suggest starting right now. He's running out of time.
Well, not only that, it's 1 rebound and 1 assist. So what do you say when a guy's, and we're just going to the clock here to have a look, or sorry, the scorer's bench, but when things aren't dropping, he's only taken 4 shots, but he's not giving it at the other end.
What do I say? I say don't wait for the game to come to you. Go and take the game on.
Good call. Good call.
Has been really effective in recent times, Abercrombie, averaging 16.5 points per game over his last 4.
Right.
2.1.
2.1 on the clock, says Chris Reed, as Will Magnay will go to the free throw line. So what's been missing compared to what he's been doing in the last few weeks?
Shot attempts. Yeah. Sometimes we look at the points scored, but oftentimes I wouldn't mind if Tom Abercrombie went 10 of 13, or sorry, 2 of 13. But if he's taking the right shots, don't turn down shots. Don't just be a swing guy. Don't just move the ball on. Go and take the game on and be aggressive.
He's taking the 13 shots is what you're saying.
Yeah, he's an international quality player who's much better than 0 of 4 from the field with a couple of rebounds and a couple of assists.
Will Magnay closes out the quarter from the stripe. Weeks from halfway can't hit it. And it's an 11-point lead to Brisbane, with 1:10 to play in the Armoury. Big game for both teams, and the Bullets have a big head start as we head down the stretch of this one. Stick with us, a big 4th quarter right after the break. And looking for their 3rd straight home win, and their 2nd straight win on the season after that big win last week over the Kings. It was a high-scoring 3rd term, which Brisbane took by 1, 31-30. As we're underway in the 4th term, Sek Henry can't knock one down on the opening breaker possession. Here's Patterson. One-on-one with Abercrombie. Into the paint, fade away, hard off the glass.
Will Magnay did a good job, then went up to set a mid-pick and roll for Lamar Patterson. I think he's better just one-on-one in an isolation. A lot of point guards in the league or ball carriers like having that screen coming and they can attack, but Lamar Patterson's a little bit different. I think he'd prefer space, the opportunity to attack that second line of the, don't bring a second defender.
Interesting stat on the season for the Bullets. In front at 3/4 time, they're 7-0 on the year, Brad, and trailing with a quarter to play, they're 0-9. What does that tell us about this team this year?
New Zealand going to lose. That's what it tells.
It tells us that Brisbane are reasonably happy right now. I bet you that is the last thing on Coach Lamanis's mind, though.
No, but what it does say is that they are a team that has energy when they're in front. That's what I see with things like that. When you've got players, they're out in front, they go with it. You look at Sobey, he's great in the open court.
We'll see how well they close this one out against a desperate Breakers team. Chris called it a must-win game for the Breakers, season on the line type of stuff. Fadeaway no good from Sobey, airball in fact. Great D. They go to Ashley in the block on Singler, too tall, but can't finish.
Good job bothering him out of it.
Foul called on Ashley, bodying up Magne down this end, and that's his
Silly
third personal.
Silly foul. That is a foul. You
Brad,
just can't.
yeah, Brad, you spoke early on in the call about Brandon Ashley being in foul trouble most of the games this year. He's been here long enough now. At some stage, you have to adjust how you play defense. You can't just complain about the same foul happening all season long. You need to adjust. That's a foul.
Action here for Glidden. Abercrombie breaks it up. 5 on the shot clock.
This is where Glidden needs to be aggressive. Watch this go down.
From long range, Glidden. It's off, but Patterson wins it back. A new 14 for the Bullets. Hopson on Abercrombie. Spins. Short arms it. Here's Hopson. Finds Delaney down the lane. He spins, wheels, deals, can't finish.
Well, there's been a couple of good looks from both teams right at the rim.
You know what? Sometimes players overcomplicate things. Matty Hodgson had a nice little right-hand hook, but he went back to the counter. Finn Delaney, I thought, could have gone strong and quick on the rim, but he went to the counter. Made it a little bit more complicated than what he needed to do. Yeah. Get the simple things right down the stretch in the fourth quarter, and you'll win if you're Brisbane.
Kenny.
Like that, straight line with speed on the rim. Get yourself to the free throw line.
Basket waved away for Hodgson. Kadee to the stripe, and
Is there any better guard in this league going to his left? And that was an easy foul, by the way, called on Henry, but was able to get that contact and get the right runner going and get into the free throw line. He does a great job.
it's his 5th point of the game. Kadee, sorry, 4th point. It's the Bullets' 3rd leading scorer. He's up to 5, and it's a 11-point lead for Brisbane. 7.5 to play. Big few minutes here for the Breakers, looking for their 2nd road win of the season. Hopson, oh, in and out. Ashley wins it back. And called for the travel.
The clock is ticking down on the New Zealand Breakers season for me. A loss today equals no finals, no chance of finals as far as I'm concerned. So they have got 7 minutes and 19 seconds to do something about it.
A loss here would take them to 6 and 11. The Breakers. Offensive foul called on Hodgson.
That's his night.
And he's fouled out. Here's another look at it, boys.
It's a foul. It's okay sometimes.
It's a tough one, but it's a foul.
It is,
You're right.
and sometimes you've just got to be prepared to lose a one-on-one battle. You know, lose the battle to win the war.
You're 100%. And the thing that with that is it's a shame that it's his 5th, but it's the 3rd and 4th that you talk about.
Right.
It's like what Ashley just did then. You just don't want to do those silly ones that then puts that one as your 5th.
So it ends up in a bit of a different look for Brisbane. Magne slides to the 5 now. Singler comes into the game at the 4. Abercrombie finds Hopson, gets right to the rim. Strong finish over Will Magne.
And that's what Matty Hodgson sitting on the bench means. It's a tough finish, but you just don't quite have the same length without Hodgie in the game.
Magne in the block, well defended by Henry. Magne loses it. 6 on the shot clock for Patterson. Oh, freezes Henry, and Hopson denies him.
Great block, great move, and met him at the rim.
What a defensive play from Scotty Hopson, and he got it down the other end.
There is your OMG moment.
Woo! Scotty Hopson making plays at both ends of the floor for the Breakers. Timeout, Brisbane.
Well, look at this. Goes up, has a little look at him as well. Watch him look back. A great move by Lamar Patterson, but just looks down a little bit. And then what I love is why Patterson's down, they go. And then finger rolls with the layup. Hopson goes to 20 points on 7 of 15 to go with his 5 rebounds, 6 rebounds as well.
Hey, they had 7 minutes and 19 seconds to prove that they wanted to play finals. Their first minute has been very good. They've cut this thing to 7.
Here's what took place earlier in the game, fellas. The Looney Tunes free throw competition. This is the McLennan family. You'll be seeing these right throughout the weekend, round 13, as we celebrate the collaboration between Looney Tunes and First Ever. And this McLennan family are off to Movie World. A VIP family pass to Movie World valued at nearly $400.
And that VIP, I've done that, and that is brilliant. I've taken my kids, my 3 kids, and there's our NBL Looney Tunes jersey, and me loving the Breakers, one by the way. But that movie pass is brilliant. If you want a good day out with the kids, get on there.
Here are the Looney Tunes jerseys. Teams wearing them right throughout this week, and they are still available. They're selling out quickly though, so move fast. Shop the Looney Tunes collection now. Just $39.90 at nblstore.com.au.
You've got Phoenix written all over you. I can just see it.
I like that one. I like that.
I could tell that.
Marshall one. Here's Patterson. Oh wow! Straight out of the timeout. Lamar Patterson drains the triple.
I would love to know the Brisbane Bullets scoring percentage out of timeouts and in the first possession of quarters. They just get good looks.
Brad called it right from the tip. There's Abercrombie with the answer.
That's who Tom Abercrombie needs to be. Go and hunt some shots. Keep your team alive this season.
His first bucket of the game, Abercrombie, and it comes in a big moment. 7-point margin. Patterson looking to take over. Short.
Get the on ball here for Hopson. Let him go to work.
And an offensive foul called on Ashley. And that's his 4th personal.
Dangerous times for the Breakers. Brandon Ashley and Sek Henry both haven't had great games, but both now sit on 4 fouls, and they can ill afford to lose one as Rob Lowe checks in for Brandon Ashley.
Lowe's having a good
So
game.
for right now, they don't lose much, but I think they'd prefer to have Ashley available.
Yeah. He's got 14, Lowe. He's back into the game. Here's Hopson on Patterson. What a matchup. Foul called on Hopson as he grabs Patterson's jersey.
The thing they lose with Lowe, and I do like him as a player, and he can score, but they don't get the energy on the defensive end like they get with Henry. And that's where you can see the foul there. And that's what they lose. So now for Brisbane, what they want to do is they want to get Lowe in an on-ball. And they want to get him on an island with the point guards attacking at him.
The 2 stars looking to take this thing over. Hopson at one end, Patterson at the other. Singler, step back. Gets his own board. New 14 for the Bullets. Here's that matchup. Patterson on Hopson. 2 of the best small forwards in the league. Braun into the paint. And it's off the rim, but he's to the free throw line.
Good take, good fundamental, solid basketball. Shot fake, 2 hard dribbles. Go and get yourself on the rim and earn a couple from the free throw line.
Well, I don't want to harp on Lowe, but he gave up that offensive rebound, and that's the bit that I'm talking about. He needs to be able to box out, get that rebound for them, and they're going down the other end.
Brisbane's 10th offensive board for the game to New Zealand's 17 defensive, which is a pretty high percentage. Don't ask me exactly what it is, but it's pretty high. As that one rims out for Braun. Nails that one. Came in shooting 92% on the year. Splits that pair. 8-point game. The Bullets fans find their voice. Eight on the shot clock. And a fumble from Abercrombie. It's out of bounds. Last touch by Brisbane.
Well, how long do you wait until you bring Nathan Sobey back into the game? It's obviously just under 5 minutes to go. He's got 23 points. He has been their spark plug.
I feel like you may see him come in within the next minute for Taylor Braun. But he's done some good things, Taylor Braun, so he might have earned himself an extra minute or 2.
Yep.
You think he's ready?
Oh, yeah. He wants to get on the court. There's no question.
Henry with Magnay, gets him into the air, can't draw the foul. Delaney pulls it down, but the shot clock expires on the Breakers.
So often we've spoken all year about players fouling the 3-point shooter. I want to make comment on Will Magnay there. He carried a hand against an exceptional jump shooter, got up in the air, but came down vertically and did a great job of not bailing him out and putting him on the free throw line. So really good defense by Will Magnay.
Does help that his hand extended his 9 foot.
It does help. That's exactly why we tell them don't leave the ground though.
Yeah, good point.
Stop for the Breakers. They trail by 8. Need a bucket here. Henry looking to attack to the rim.
Oh,
and
nice.
one finish. Sick Henry with a big-time bucket for the Breakers. Oh, boy, they needed that. It's a 6-point game.
They have hung around all night. Great move there. Beautiful help defense. Too slow. Comes across. Gets him on the arm and the one. You think Nathan Sobey be coming back into the game now?
I'm enjoying the fight from this Breakers lineup.
Couldn't agree more.
Well, I agree.
100%.
Yeah.
This is a balanced team, what they've got right now. Glenn Rice is nowhere near them. Corey Webster's a hell of a player, a heck of a player, but the balance of their squad
Feels right.
feels good.
Yep.
Zach Henry is flowing with confidence after what had been a pretty rough night. He's got 11 now. It's a 5-point margin. Sobey's back in. Fade away, first possession, and it's an air ball.
That's not the shot you want when you've just come off the bench. Great defense by New Zealand.
Henry to the... Oh, Will Magnay with the block.
Chase again.
Delaney off the rim. Magnay clears it. What a defensive play from the big fella.
It sure was. Clean. Kept it in play, which is another talent that really good shot blockers have. A lot of block shots go out of bounds. He kept it in play. New Zealand came up with it, of course, but great job, Will Magnay.
Foul on Hopson, away from the bucket. Third personal, yeah. Had that volleyball spike sound to it. That block from Magnay, we get another look at it.
Look at this. Bang. And then good recognition from New Zealand, but you didn't need that 3 from Delaney. There was more time on the clock. A great block by that man. What a 2 weeks he's had.
Patterson putting together a line. He's got 18 now. 8 boards, 8 assists. He's on triple-double watch. 3.5 minutes out from full time. Seven-point margin. Another key possession here for the Breakers. Hopson to the free throw line. Will Magnay, that's just 2 personals now for him.
We all turned and had a quick look at the monitor, didn't we? We wondered how many Will Magnay had, but 2 fouls, he's fine with that. He can go and be aggressive. It gives him the luxury of going and attacking shots on the rim and not have to just show your hands. He can go and make plays.
Hopson, 64% on the season from the line. It's down, he's 6 of 8 from there thus far tonight. Has a team-high 21 points. So 3 and a bit remaining. The Breakers need a stop or 2. Foul called on Abercrombie, his 4th personal, but both teams in the bonus.
And Brisbane have struggled to put the ball in the hole this quarter. Just 1 made field goal for the quarter, so they will be very, very happy getting themselves to the free throw line. But it's really tricky when you're protecting a lead oftentimes. The temptation is to take the air out of the ball, try to eat more minutes off the shot clock. Brisbane looked fantastic when they were aggressive. They've been shooting the ball at close on 60% all game. That's dropped down to closer to 50 because they've become a little bit more passive. If they can remain aggressive for this last 3 minutes, I think that gives them the best chance of holding onto this lead.
Sobey's first 2 free throws of the game. He's now got a game-high 25. The Bullets lead by 7. This has been an arm wrestle of a 4th quarter as the Breakers have hung tough and asked some questions that the Bullets have mostly answered. Hopson, single coverage with Braun. Good defense, and the Breakers will have 4 on the shot clock.
I didn't see it.
Timeout, Breakers. And we all take a collective breath. 7 points in it with not long to play. Here are the OMG moments, plural, tonight, fellas.
There have been a few
highlights.
Well, you could pick a number of them. You couldn't. That one was brilliant. But I do like the one Chris Anstey called during the play.
There's a couple of Sobey alley-oops for your evening. And then the block from Hopson. I feel like he maybe grabbed the net.
He grabbed the net, he did, didn't he? Yeah.
He sure did. That should not have counted. That block should have been a bucket for Brisbane. He got away with it. Scored down the other end.
And finish for half. And both of you
got 4 seconds. Offensively, yeah. Offensively, I like the push and then a little bit of ball movement. So, like the second side power stuff is good. You got to be really strong with the DHOs. All right, we're good. Here we go. 1, 2, 3.
Well, again, he's looking at the defensive end, getting stops, but then the offensive, he's saying, let's get good ball movement. And we've mentioned it all night long. Every time they've come out of a timeout or a quarter time, they run their set beautifully.
And you just heard him encouraging Will Magnay to be very strong with the dribble handoff. But they know they could get it, it could be trapped. Surely they expect pressure out of the Breakers. And for the Breakers, looking at Tom Abercrombie or Scotty Hopson coming off some down picks.
4 seconds on the shot clock. Need to make a play, the Breakers. Abercrombie attacks, denied, gets it back and finishes.
Love the aggressiveness. Tom Abbott, draw up a play for him and let him get away.
I think they stopped the shot clock. I looked at it at .8. I haven't got any ring, so I think it's a shot clock violation. Oh yeah, get some more extra.
Check it.
Can we check that? I mean,
this is huge.
I actually felt that
check if they
because that didn't hit the rim the first shot.
Right, Abercrombie's attacked in.
Correct. So that shouldn't have reset or stopped, and that's what they're looking at.
Just tell Dan. It does. It stops on point.
So Chris Reed's going to have another look. See if we can get a replay on that attempt from Abercrombie.
Go back to the shot.
They'll work it out.
It's a big call in the context of the game.
Well, it's good refereeing.
Makes sense that it should be a shot clock violation.
100% great refereeing, and if it's not, that's fine. We move on.
Okay.
Counter.
Okay.
It stopped basically as he's releasing it. So it counted.
There you go, the quick putback.
Yeah, but
beat the buzzer.
Let's go, guys.
Yeah, but it's on .8. He was going to get it away.
Good call.
What can the Bullets serve up offensively? 1 of 10 from the field in the fourth. They've been scoring from the foul line, ticking it over just enough. Five on the shot clock. Sobey's got the mismatch, gets the step on low and the finger roll finish.
Great job, Nathan Sobey, not settling for the 3 that you felt he wanted to take. Exploded out of that. One more hard dribble, got himself on the rim.
27 now for Sobey. Delaney's strong move. It comes out. They get it back.
Sure was a strong move. You've got to finish that at this in the context of the game.
Hopson versus Patterson. Puller off the rim.
They need Ashley in the game. They need Ashley in the game for his energy and his aggression on the defensive end, especially rebounding.
Time ticking away on New Zealand now. Less than 2 minutes remaining. Turnover. Foul called. Hopson took a knock to the head.
He is going to be bruised up.
He's going to be when does New Zealand play the next game? He's going to be sore.
He went after the loose ball and he copped Taylor Braun. Did he just get his head out of the way? Either way, he's headed to the free throw line.
Yeah, so that's good because in theory, if they had the ball, then that's offensive possession and no free throws. But it looked like he had it in his hand.
Hopson come up with the
so,
ball,
yeah,
right?
so good
That's
call.
a good call.
Go to the free throw. By the way, he's fine now. He's shooting free throws.
So Hopson 7 of 9 from the stripe. But remember, he's only 64% on the year. He's knocking them down in crunch time.
Great players have a much higher shooting percentage down the stretch, or so it seems.
Sub coming in, Tony.
Two down for Hopson, and Dan Shamir makes the move you're talking about, Brad. Inserts Brandon Ashley back in. Rob Lowe comes out.
Yeah, I like it, because they're going to switch. They're going to get switching on balls, and more than anything, go and get that defensive glass is what he'll be told.
There's a score here. Close it out, Chris.
It'll make it very difficult. This is where he's got to attack. One-on-one right here. Lamar Patterson.
Step back. Off the rim. The door stays ajar for the Breakers, and Sek Henry, with a strong attack in transition, gets to the strike.
And there's the difference. You've described it perfectly. A strong attack, just like Nathan Sobey last possession, or the possession before. Sek Henry attacked the glass, got himself to the free throw line. Lamar Patterson settled for a long fall-away two-point jump shot.
But you know where it comes from? A stop on the defensive end. Great defense, gets a nice stop, and now they can get out to the races.
He's been aggressive down the stretch. Henry rolls that one in. He's got 12 now.
And can cut this to a one-possession game if he makes his free throw.
Big-time hit. 10 second-half points for Henry. It's a three-point game. A minute and change remaining. Big possession for the Bullets. Sobey takes the air out of the ball. He's one-on-one with Brandon Ashley. Crossover, crosses it back, fade away off 1 foot. Gee, that was a bad look for the Bullets. What can Scotty Hopson deliver? Crossover. Finds Delaney, launches from the corner, and down!
Massive!
Spin Delaney with the three-ball corner pocket to tie the game.
Wow. 3 of 7 from the three-point line, like he's been lighting up out there all year.
Hopson created the play, drew a moment of help from Braun. It wasn't a clean catch, but Delaney knocked it down nonetheless. He's got 18 on the game. 3 triples and none bigger than that one.
Never leave a strong side shooter in the corner. The help's got to come from the weak side. Just gave him the step. Can't recover quick enough and knock down 3 from the corner.
And Brad, these looks that the Bullets have been getting throughout these last couple of minutes off these late clock isolation plays, what needs to change out of the timeout here?
Well, now they need to run a set, and that's what Andre Lamanis will give him right now. For me, you've got to have Lamar Patterson having the ball in his hand. He makes good things happen. And not necessarily he shoots, but he makes good things happen.
And for me, I'd like to see Jason Cadee and Cam Glidden spacing the floor. They're the 2 best three-point shooters on the Brisbane Bullets team over the last couple of years. They've struggled to put the ball in the hole in this 4th quarter. Put a couple of natural scorers. I know we've mentioned Glidden being a little bit passive, but Jason Cadee's a natural scorer. He's the sort of guy who wants to shoot the basketball right now. It's one thing taking it, it's another one wanting to take it.
Yeah.
You need guys on the floor who want to take this shot. Both teams.
So remember, the Bullets led by 16. This is the first time it's been tied since it was 0-0. They've led the entire game, Brisbane, until now. But a chance to retake the lead right here. Singler, handoff, can't find his targets. Patterson has it, bodies Delaney, and finishes with the floater. Big bucket from their main man.
Big play after big play by big-time players.
That's why you get him the ball. That's what he's there for. He looked like he had all the time in the world. Beautiful move, just gets it pretty, didn't have much to work with. Just a little step back there. Athleticism gets it over the top.
Maybe athleticism, maybe strength, maybe size, just that little nudge. He didn't just shifted the defender, created that little bit of space. Lamar Patterson's got great touch when he's got a little bit of space.
Great call about the touch, and it was nice to see him attack. They had those pull-ups and fadeaways the last couple of minutes, and there he put it on the deck. Okay, we go the other end now. Down 2, 33 remaining.
Do we go for, I wonder, does Coach Shamir go for a 2 or a 3? Does he tie it up and trust the defense? Or does he try to get a look at a lead and hold on?
Well, if you advance it, 14 on the shot clock, then
You're thinking 2 for 1?
2 for 1 opportunity.
It'd want to be a good one, though. I'd much rather get a high percentage good shot, but you're right.
It's got to go to Hopson. It's got to go.
It has to, of course it does.
I feel like they've been getting good stuff attacking, getting 2 feet in the paint, and then strong to the cup or kick-outs for that open 3 like Delaney got in the corner.
You know what, Sek Henry's been great as well. Sorry, Brad. He's had 10 points in his second half. Very quiet in the first half, but that's the natural type of scorer we mentioned. I wouldn't mind shooting this one.
I'm going to go back here 12 months. Abercrombie, he had the game winner. He will feel he wants this in this position.
It's very interesting here that Coach Shamir chose not to advance the basketball and advance at 94 feet, so Brisbane will get the last shot at this if New Zealand score here.
So a 10-second differential now. Ball finds Hopson. He goes one-on-one with Magnay. Delaney's got it. Magnay meets him. He can't roll it in. He gets on the deck, Delaney.
Out of bounds.
And he's called out of bounds, but it's out of bounds.
You both touch it when it's out of bounds.
Who's got the arrow?
Do we need to review it because we can? Out of bounds?
So he's calling a jump ball, Chris Reed. Said they're both touching it.
Let's have a look.
While it was out of bounds.
Lamar Patterson's not out of bounds.
That's got to be out of bounds on Delaney.
That has to be Brisbane ball. Lamar Patterson at no stage went out of bounds.
Yeah. What did we think about the play from the Breakers, the contest at the rim from the Bullets?
Well, great defense by Magnay, just to go straight up and down. But it was a pretty ordinary set when you think about
I'm
it.
not sure what happened on the backside of the rebound. Like if somebody got grabbed and pulled down, because my eyes just went.
So another timeout.
But I'm just wondering.
Now let's assume, as we think it is, that it's a Brisbane Bullets ball. Taylor Braun, whose hands do you want the ball in? Here, let's have another look.
So they're probably going to advance it.
Right. Now, I'm going to throw one. Should that be a foul?
Maybe not.
Coming over.
I don't think they can review the foul. They're going to review the out of bounds.
Denying it foul. If you get New Zealand, maybe you can tell them about the no foul last 2.
Here we go.
All right, here we go. Here we go.
I don't know yet. Make sure. I'm not sure yet.
So the review continues.
Don't bounce till the ball comes in.
So it's Brisbane ball. Now you want to get the ball into the hands of Taylor Braun. Is a 92% free throw shooter. Cam Glenton might want to come in. He's an 89% free throw shooter. But Nathan Sobey on the season is 96% from the line. You don't, of course, need to look at the score here. You're up 2 points, but you need to get the ball into the hands of one of your best free throw shooters.
Magnay, on the other hand, 5 of 10 from the stripe tonight.
And Lamar Patterson only 70% on the season.
Well, the first thing is try for the steal.
Of course.
That's what you want to do.
They get the trap
don't
break
dribble it.
and they get the steal.
Yes, that's unsportsmanlike.
This is huge.
Sportsmanlike foul called on Lamar Patterson. Brad, you called it. Go for the steal. They didn't foul straight away. Trap. Turnover. Unsportsmanlike foul on Patterson as he stopped the break from behind.
100% the right call on the unsportsmanlike. What I like here is the double. No foul. They're just doubling. Now they get a piece of the ball here on the dribble. Great hands, and there's the grab. That's intentional, great refereeing.
And Abercrombie leaves that one on the line. No, sorry, he canned it. Missed that. 1 point game. Drills it.
What a turn of events.
Boy. Tight game. Breakers possession. 8 on the clock.
A week ago, Scotty Hopson had the ball in his hands and delivered a knockout blow against Illawarra. What have we got now?
A year ago, Abercrombie did it.
Here we go down to the wire. Win or overtime for the Bullets. Hopson launches it. Oh, down! Scotty Hopson with the ice-cold game-winning 3-ball.
Well, Well, they're just going to check to see if there's time, but forget it. What a shot. Scotty Hopson, 27 points. Wow, what a three.
That was murder at the Armoury. Hopson lets it fly and wins the game.
It was always going to be Scotty Hopson. 2 weeks in a row, you get to hit a game-winning basket to keep your season alive.
And there's the owner, Matt Walsh, loving life, embracing Scotty Hopson, who has delivered with game-winning buckets in back-to-back road wins for the Breakers. It's New Zealand 99 over the Bullets 96. They hung tough all game. And in the final moments, their superstar import, the man Corey Williams told us is the best player in the league, took him home, and he's standing by with Candy.